is this person one of the most influential people in America? I knew if I went and I gave interviews on the red carpet, Mark.
Once again, Hollywood handed Blake Lively an international humiliation.
Really? The Titan Blake Lively is now trying to convince us that she is a victim because her mother was.
At the 2025 Time 100 Gala, Blake Lively shamelessly turned her mother's trauma into a PR circus, embarrassing herself and anyone still pretending to.
Now Blake Lively. What? They talk about how stunning they look, nothing else. I don't know what happened to TMZ. Maybe they're scared of being dragged into this lawsuit. Issues there, and I don't know why Ryan Reynolds was doing this speech yesterday that I also talked about. He was interviewed on stage. He was asked questions that he didn't answer, and he was sitting like, when you look at his body language in that interview, he's sitting like this scared little child in that chair.
Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds looked like he wanted to disappear, watching their fake empire crumble in real time.
It really clicked, and it clicked in every part of my life.
I don't know if he did that on purpose to look more like a victim, or if he just felt really uncomfortable sitting there. But there was nothing uncomfortable about Blake Lively posing on the red carpet.
Blake Lively was strutting around like she was Harriet Tubman reincarnated. Dramatic hair flip, cupcake in hand, like she personally ended slavery.
There's a lot of controversy right now with Blake being on the Time 100 list.
It's a ridiculous joke. She shouldn't be there. She has no influence over anything. I think she launched a fake Me Too allegation against him. And
of the two of them posing on the red carpet has been everywhere today. And they look so happy and so relaxed.
There she was, grinning from ear to ear, gliding down the red carpet like she'd dismantled systemic racism herself. And just when you thought it couldn't get more absurd, Time magazine wedged her between Serena Williams and Simone Biles.
If she's going to claim in court that she had all these damages and trauma, but she's totally fine going on red carpets.
This was a good idea. I kid you not. This is, again, one of the dumbest PR moves. Just a woman who is in denial, attempting to gaslight the entire world who is witnessing what's actually happening.
Two real icons. Women who shattered records, battled racism, and defined resilience, and then Blake, who seems to think a plantation wedding and a faux Cherokee L'Oreal shoot count as activism. Time's April 2020 issue didn't just make a poor choice, it left a permanent dent in their credibility. But sure, let Plantation Barbie have her moment in the fake spotlight.
What? They talk about how stunning they look, nothing else. I don't know what happened to TMZ. Maybe they're scared of being dragged into this lawsuit, and now they're just changing lanes here. So Blake Lively had this speech. Someone recorded it and put it online.
This is something they reiterate a lot. We disagree, here's why, but worst case scenario, if we lose, we are allowed legally to go make an amendment, and we should at least be doing that.
And it didn't stop there. Even Megyn Kelly, never one to pull punches, ripped into Blake for using her mother's trauma as a cheap PR stunt.
Yeah, bottom line here is she used her mom to get sympathy. And posing with her everywhere on the red carpet and sitting next to her, talking about her and her supportive husband. It was just like, we're not buying it.
Here's Ryan Reynolds giving a pep talk to Blake before she's about to give her speech. Look at how cute they are. Oh, he's such a perfect man. Oh.
Megyn said what everyone was thinking. Real survivors don't parade their family's pain around like a sparkly handbag. Her takedown was so brutal, not even Wi-Fi lag could soften the blow to Blake's dignity.
So interestingly enough, Megyn Kelly was there, and she was interviewed about Blake Lively, and she was like, this is a ridiculous honor. So Daily Mail interviewed her, and she said this.
I'm definitely hoping for some sort of a selfie in the distance with both Blake Lively and Meghan Markle, since they provided me with so many hours of content.
If her mother, if this is true, because Blake Lively has told a lot of story previously, as we've all found out, that hasn't always been like factually correct.
Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds was barely keeping it together. The man who jokes through everything had a rare flash of real anger on the carpet. Their polished facade shattered, and hard. Ryan looked one breath away from punching a wall, or filing for divorce.
And I'll be honest, it does feel odd. It feels forced where he's out there being presented as, oh yeah, we got to put you out there. We got to be the man of the people. Everyone loves Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. But there's just something missing.
And of course, as always, there was so much word salad in this speech. I didn't quite understand how her mother was saved by a person she heard on the radio. If it saved her that she could get away physically from this man who tried to harm her.
It was the first real emotion either of them had shown publicly in years. Hollywood insiders, who had been mocking Blake behind closed doors, finally went full savage, dubbing it her Plantation Barbie redemption tour. And no one was saying it with admiration.
Oh my God, I can't believe Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds showed up at the Time 100 gala last night in New York, pretending like nothing.
The last one I did, I mentioned that the greatest superpower I ever had in my life, I'm not talking about just my career or anything, was knowing who I am. And when you're young and you're in your 20s, you're trying on personalities like they're shirts.
And then came Blake's Time 100 speech, a tone-deaf disaster that made viewers want to astral project out of second-hand embarrassment. She opened with a melodramatic trigger warning, only to deliver basically nothing. Just a weaponized retelling of her mother's trauma wrapped in a nothing burger.
Blake Lively brought her mother with her because she was using her story to tell a powerful story about abuse and women and blah blah.
Are saying about you. So how has that media attention impacted your brand, your businesses?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. And she didn't ask the elephant in the room, but she kind of did, right? She's like, how does all the negative attention affect your businesses?
The whole thing felt less like a speech and more like an overproduced soap opera. Meanwhile, Time conveniently forgot to mention Blake's 2012 plantation wedding, because nothing screams social justice warrior like celebrating on land soaked in slavery.
And now they're just changing lanes here. So Blake Lively had this speech. Someone recorded it and put it online. She talked about how her mother was almost killed by a co-worker before she was born, and then her mother heard on the radio another woman talking about how she survived abuse.
Didn't admit it.
Stealing from one, and you've pulled all these different references in and these feelings, and you know yourself. And what I think is, here's how I know. Someone asked me at one of us was leaving. It was the end of the thing. He said, "How did you know?" And I said, "What?" He said, "How did you know that you knew who you were?"
Instead of centering the black community she claimed to uplift, Blake hijacked the night and turned it into a low-budget Hallmark special starring, of course, herself.
She wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
There she stood, draped in a $25,000 gown, preaching about survival and strength, flaunting luxuries the very people she pretended to represent couldn't dream of affording. The hypocrisy was thicker than frosting on her metaphorical cupcake.
It's not for us to have shame. It's
the audience reactions. Absolutely priceless. Frozen faces everywhere, not from Botox, but from pure, soul-leaving-the-body awkwardness. They clapped like they were being held hostage.
The story didn't make any sense to me.
The woman painfully and graphically shared how she escaped. And because of hearing that woman speak to her experience instead of shutting down in fear and unfair shame, my mom is alive today.
One woman in black, caught on camera mid-cringe, deserves a Pulitzer for perfectly capturing the shared agony of the room. She had the look of someone trapped listening to a drunk stranger's wedding toast.
Whatsoever, and I feel like Blake Lively is just desperate to look like a victim, and now she's using her mom to make her look more like a victim. All of us have stories. All of us have mothers with stories. And I feel this was just a PR stunt.
Then, just when you thought the night couldn't get more awkward, Ryan Reynolds gave us the ultimate red carpet moment. On April 25th...
But there's just something missing. It feels awkward. You can also see he's nervous. He feels very nervous. Is he going to get asked a question? At some of these softball places like Time, they clearly aren't. And the question is like, why is he even there at the Time Summit? Was this part of the deal in order to get Blake Lively on the list? Did Leslie Sloan say, and we'll give you Ryan for your Creative Summit live in person?
It wasn't subtle. It wasn't gallant. It was pure survival instinct. Maybe the first honest move Ryan's made since he started cosplaying as Perfect Husband. Interview 19.
We name it, we change it. Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellicot, put it to every woman who understood, it's not for us to have shame, it's for them.
To top it all off, a reporter conveniently shouted, "Blake, we're on your side." A painfully obvious PR plant. Even Blake looked confused, flashing an awkward, strained smile, like
Controversy right now with Blake being on the Time 100 list.
It's a ridiculous joke. She shouldn't be there. She has no influence over anything.
Yeah, so the reporter asked if she was scared of meeting Blake Lively, and she's like, no, I think she's going to be the one avoiding me.
And Ryan's face. Unforgettable. Zoomed-in screenshots caught his eyes shooting daggers at Blake, the kind of look you reserve for someone who just set your Deadpool costume on fire. It wasn't just anger. It was pure, feral regret for every choice that led him there.